Hey y'all, if you're watching this video, you have probably seen countless other videos on YouTube of people playing high limit slots. But have you ever wondered, how did they become so successful at that? What do they watch for when they go into a casino? What are their favorite machines? Well, today we're going to be lifting the veil and hopefully bringing you guys some tips and some inside information to help you guys better your slot play. I'm joined today by Greg and Stacey of Stacey's High Limit Slots. If you have not already done so, check out her channel and subscribe. It's a wonderful channel with some great videos and some great live jackpots that she's caught on camera. So today, let's dive right into it. Welcome back to the Cowboy Slot Channel. In today's episode, I'm going to be interviewing Stacey from Stacey's High Limit Slots, and she is joined also by Greg. Stacey, welcome to the channel.
Thank you.
Greg, welcome to the channel.
Thanks for having us.
So I'm going to be putting a link to Stacey's channel right up here in the top there. So if you have not yet visited Stacey's High Limit Slots, check out her channel. A lot of really, really great videos. So today's interview, we're just going to be asking some questions about kind of what it's like to be a high limit slot player and how to get started and how just in general playing high limit slots. That's what we're here to talk about today. Because I know you have a lot of really awesome videos. I watch your channel all the time. And you guys have some really awesome stuff. So let's dive right into it. So as a high limit slot player, what would you say is your favorite and not so favorite casinos to play at?
I would say our favorite casinos, anyone who watches our channel knows we go to Las Vegas a lot. Favorite there, of course, is Aria, and mostly to stay at. We play at Aria, Bellagio. Used to play at Caesar's Palace. Not so much anymore, as I think you agree with us on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've kind of switched more to the M Live from the Caesar's properties in the last, pretty much since Caesar's sold.
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
And their rewards benefits, I feel, are a lot better too with M Life.
Well, and what we experienced too with M Life compared to Caesar's is, especially in Las Vegas, the comps for travelers just didn't even match up, balance between the two. So we're anxious to see what happens with the new program this year and Cosmo coming under the M Life umbrella. But I think as far as comps, we really prefer to play at M Life in Las Vegas.
Plus, we have an awesome host at the Aria.
Yeah. So that helps.
Yeah.
Having a good host is always helpful.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. And during COVID, we made a trip up to Deadwood. I think that's probably Greg's favorite casino or favorite area to play anymore.
Yeah,
and we love Deadwood. I mean, the whole historical part of it, the casinos, the environment, everything. So I think Tahoe, we love Tahoe.
Yeah, I don't know if that's for the casino
probably
so much. Yeah.
So I would say in general, the atmosphere, the casinos, the food, the people, we always prefer to go to Vegas if we get to choose. So
yeah,
but I think that the short answer to the long one that we gave is we pretty much like to gamble everywhere. So I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing.
So have you guys always played high limit slots, or if not, did you guys like build up to high limit slots, or is that just always something that you did?
Well, believe it or not, before we got married, neither of us gambled really at all. We used to tag along with my parents to WinStar, and we'd play like $1.25 quarter machine 5-line and just have a great time. And the longer we played, the more interested we got into it and playing different types of machines. We saw a lady play, I don't even remember what the machine was.
Jackpot party.
Yeah, maybe Super Jackpot Party.
That got us on playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's, you increase your bets, and we started playing more old school machines, traveling a little bit more. So I think as you play and you win and you kind of learn the games that you like to play and you enjoy to play, your budget kind of goes up and down from there. So we definitely over time have, what's the word I'm looking for?
Built up to it, or
yeah, we didn't start
into it. I don't know.
Yeah,
I think that our threshold for losing probably went up as our threshold for winning went up, if that makes sense. You know, you hit a couple of bigger jackpots and oh wow, this is pretty cool. But then, you know, you realize, oh wow, you can lose a lot more too. But I think the threshold for both has to go up if you're going to play high limit.
Right. You can have a lot of fun playing $1. You get $2, $3. But
that's how it started off, really. I mean, just for fun. I mean, it was entertainment, you know, getting away. We started going to WinStar, which is a huge casino now. I don't know if you've been there yet, but it was literally 3 like tents just across the Texas-Oklahoma border. And that's when we started going. I mean, it was tiny, and now it's the biggest casino in the world, I guess, has the most slot machines of anywhere.
I know. I'll definitely check that out. I haven't been there, so I'll have to check that out.
A road trip to Oklahoma.
Yeah, there you go.
Just down the street from us. So
when did you guys decide to start a channel? Or why did you decide to start a channel?
Kind of a funny story. Back in maybe 2016?
Yeah,
probably about 16 or 17. I saw a video on YouTube, and I was just looking for something else. I'm not even sure who it was. But I said, hey, Greg, you know, we could like record our slot play and put it on YouTube. And so we just kind of started messing around, 2-minute videos, 3 minutes, just some bonuses. And, you know, life gets busy. We just kind of decided, well, we just didn't have time to do it. And about 2 years later, on 2019, I give the, my brother-in-law, my brother-in-law started a channel for his kids, and he said, you know, just go back in. It'll take you, you know, probably a month to get to 1,000 subscribers. And sure enough, you know, probably within a few weeks we were there, and it's just kind of gone on and up from there. So we feel really lucky.
That's awesome.
It was something we enjoyed doing anyways. So it was like, well, now you just, you know, put your camera up or your phone up and record while you're playing. Maybe have to be a little more careful what I say or how I act. But
well, and that's kind of
something we enjoy doing anyway. So it does kind of sometimes maybe take away from enjoying it a little bit, I guess. But yeah, I think we just maybe trying to find, I think the first time I really watched them was I was trying to find the Clio bonus where someone actually got all 5 scatters.
Oh yeah.
Bonus. Yeah. I think that's the first one that I maybe looked up on YouTube, and I don't even know if I ever found someone who had it. But yeah, those were the ones that I think we probably kind of liked watching in the beginning, the ones that had bonuses that we hadn't maybe necessarily gotten before, you know, things like that.
That's kind of fun to see.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So what are some of your favorite games? Do you prefer the newer games versus the older games, or the older games versus the newer games? Like, what are like some really favorites in particular of yours, or that you've had the best luck at? And how do you pick your machines when you go to play?
That's a good question. The easy part of that question is, what are our favorite machines?
All of them.
And we prefer the old school.
Yeah.
3 reel, you know, 5 reel over the electronic ones. What's funny is there are times where let's say we're on a trip in Vegas, we may not be able to hit anything on the old school machines. Go play an electronic machine and get some of the bankroll back. And then we go back to the old school machines, and sometimes it pays off and sometimes it doesn't. But I think, like you, one of our favorites, of course, is Triple Stars.
Yeah, that's why I loved your video when you were talking about Triple Stars.
Yeah.
And some of the stuff that you were talking about in it, where you're like, you know, sometimes you'll see the patterns where if you're starting to hit the same color 7s, then a jackpot's coming. And I kind of thought that a few times. I thought maybe I was crazy, right? Because it seemed like for whatever reason, when I would get blue 7s, a lot of times I would end up getting a jackpot. And if I got triple blue 7s, a lot of times a bigger jackpot would come on that same machine. You know, some people always say, oh, you hit a jackpot, that machine's not going to hit again. Well, we know it's random, and we know it's, you know, that's not necessarily true. So when you put that video out, that was pretty cool, because it kind of like reaffirmed to me like what I kind of thought, but you know, I don't know that much about them, so I could have been totally wrong.
Well, and a lot of the kind of the information that you shared with us too about old school slots in the accounting. And, I know you mentioned how they have to balance each other. And that's one thing I've just or balance in the accounting system. That's kind of one thing that I've been trying to wrap my head around with the old school versus the electronic ones. They all kind of have to balance, right? Or is that more
in the simplest terms? Yeah, they do.
And they're easier to understand, right? Triple seven is pretty easy to understand.
I know me personally, I prefer the older games. I don't get into all the cartoon games, although some of them look pretty fun. I know you just put out a video, the Huff and Puff. You put that out recently, and that looks like a really fun game. I might have to try that one out. Or
it kind of takes you back to being a kid.
Bonus.
Yeah, so I think in answer to your question, the first part is we do prefer the old school machines. You feel like the payouts can be bigger on a more consistent bet. You don't have to bet $100 on like you'll see somebody playing $100 on Dragon Cash to win 4,000, where you could play $15 or $20 and still have the chance to win a real good jackpot on an old school.
And I think a lot of it too is we've had better luck, seems like, on the old school one. So naturally, those are kind of the ones that we prefer to play, I think. That's just kind of my opinion on it, I guess.
Now, as far as picking a machine, that's where we need you with us.
Well, you guys, I know a lot of the machines that you play, I would have picked right off the bat, especially Pinball, Top Dollar. You've got some great videos out there of hitting some really awesome bonuses on those.
Well, where I've kind of learned from you, I tend to sit at walk in a machine like, oh man, look at that. You can win $90,000 on this machine, or you can win $125,000. But I've kind of changed my thinking on that, where if I see a double diamond that the biggest jackpot is 8,000, I've learned from what you've said. I'm like, okay, those will hit more often than you will see one hit 90,000 because those machines have to balance. Am I understanding that right?
Yeah, the higher that highest number is on the pay table, the harder it is to obtain that number. And then especially if something has more bonuses or more features on it, it affects the payout rate to make it a little more difficult compared to the games that don't have that. So a game like Double Diamond, for example, all you have is the double diamond, and unlike triple diamond, double diamond does not pay you if you just get the multipliers. Right. So just by using that property, it's more likely to hit the double as opposed to other machines that are similar credit and similar denomination.
What do you think about, when you walk through a casino floor now, it seems like almost every machine is tied to a progressive. And, even now some of the old school machines are tied to progressives, like the one you played at Bellagio, the one I'm trying to win at Aria. I mean,
I hope you do. I hope you win that one.
Thank you.
And that one's a property progressive there. I thought that was something pretty cool. One of the slot attendants was telling us one time that's not one that's, it's only at the Aria. So that particular one, he said they have to have at any one time the cash to pay that jackpot out in cash, not a annuity, like a Wheel of Fortune or something like that, since it is a property progressive.
And I plan on taking a duffel bag full of cash.
That would
I don't know about that, but it'd be kind of fun to do a video of it. But I'd be a little nervous walking around with that.
Kind of my question going back to that though is, if you have, let's say, an old school machine, like that bank of triple stars 5 times that you played at Bellagio, if it's tied to a progressive, does that change the payout percentage for that machine? So like if I'm trying to pick between, let's say, that bank that has a progressive tied to it, or triple stars across the way that is just a $10 or $20 bet, you think there's a difference between those two?
So the funny part about that is actually no. So those machines, I believe on that particular bank, you have the triple stars machine, and then you have a double gold machine and a 5 times pay machine.
We're talking about at Bellagio, in case you guys are wondering.
Yeah, the bank there. The 5 times pay machine is notoriously extremely hard to hit the 555. You almost never see. Yeah. I actually, I had a 5 times pay machine in my shop. I've worked on them, and I've seen, the programming that goes into them. And I know for sure the 5 times pay machines are relatively difficult to hit on, as with anything with a higher multiplier. The double gold machines, it's kind of a mix. They can be good, but they're not as like reliable as, let's say, like a triple stars or a double diamond is. So honestly, even though that they're all linked to the progressive, you would still have better odds playing just on that triple stars machine as opposed to the other two.
Okay. So anyway, as far as like how we pick it, I don't think we have, I don't know if we have any sort of a pattern. Since we go to the same places, we tend to gravitate back towards the same machines. Yeah. We should switch it up a little bit, but.
And we used to never play pinball, but we probably only in like the last year or two, we really started playing pinball very much.
I've gone on a pinball kick where it's like sometimes I gotta
let the dog out.
You're fine. I've gone on a pinball kick before where, I'll play pinball for a long time and then I don't play it and then I go back to playing it. But I've always enjoyed pinball. I think it's really, especially if you're playing $10 or $25, it's relatively easy to get a hand pay on pinball.
It is, and we feel like you get the game a little bit more often on pinball. Top Dollar, to me, I used to love Top Dollar over pinball. But man, I don't like having to choose between, if they say a 15, 40, 45. I like pinball because it just adds it up and it gives you the bonus. You can't make the wrong decision there. So
very true.
Between those two.
I think between
Top Dollar versus pinball.
Pinball would be my favorite over Top Dollar.
Yeah, us too.
I tell you, that Top Dollar machine that's in the high limit room of Caesar's Palace, I sat there one day, I put like $1,000 into it, click, 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 and absolutely nothing. It was the worst Top Dollar.
Back in the corner?
Yeah.
Okay, because that one back in the corner has actually been pretty good to me.
I saw it on your video that you recently uploaded. I was surprised. When you said you were at Caesars, I was like, oh, wow, Stacey's stealing my jackpots. Well, I warmed it up with you. So kind of back to one of my other questions here. Have you guys ever encountered issues filming for the channel?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. It's getting better. I think the casinos are kind of waking up and realizing that we are, not there to record the people sitting next to us or people walking down the aisle. We're
our security.
Right. That we're not a threat. We're not trying to decode these machines when we get home. WinStar, for example, for a very long time, they were very adamant that they did not want you recording. And there was once Greg was sitting and I was recording over his shoulder and you see a security guard walk down and she came up and just threw her hand in front of my phone. And, it was not very nice. Wow. Then another time I had a guy come up and say, you realize you're being surveilled. I'm like, I'm being surveilled, really? So they took it pretty seriously, but now they are supposedly recording friendly. So we haven't had any issues lately. Mandalay Bay, we recorded there. We were there for a slot tournament and they weren't very happy about that too. So it's really hit or miss. Always best to get permission. If you're wanting to start a channel and you want to start recording, so much better to get there and know that you have permission and you're not going to be, stopped or banned or,
We've even had some places like the Aria, for example, where we have permission, but then a random person will tell you to stop recording. And I've seen that happen to other people too, even maybe like Cosmo, that's happened to some people. And so it can happen still. And I don't know, I guess you kind of just have to, thick skin's not the word, but you just kind of have to be able to take it if they tell you to stop recording, because at the end of the day, they're the ones that control it. So if they tell you to stop, it's not a very good idea to keep doing it.
And we'll stop. We'll find the person that gave us permission and, usually be okay to just continue on. So sorry, we have a new puppy for anybody who doesn't know.
You're good. You're good.
I think she just tore a box.
Oh no. I think I just
so
more questions and then
it's okay. So the best thing, if you are going to record, get permission. If you have a host, your host can help. Louisiana's tough to record other than at Coshada. So but we haven't been banned or kicked out of anywhere, so that's good.
That's good. Well, I'm glad. I enjoy your channel too much.
Now, you're going to Windover. Well, thank you. You're going to Windover, right?
I am.
Are you
I
gonna
will
be
be
able
in,
to record?
I
You're
will
gonna
be
be able
in
to
Andover,
record?
and I did call them in advance, and I did talk to their managers, and they were able to get me one of their directors, and I talked to one of their directors, and they did give me permission to film. And then they also kind of talked a little bit about filming, and they said that they've seen an increase of it, and really, as long as you ask, kind of the same thing, as long as you ask and they're aware, then they're okay with it.
Here's our baby right here.
Sorry, I had to go track the beast down. Oh, I know.
This is Bailey. She's grown a little. We have a couple community posts with her on the channel. She's grown a little bit.
She's got
Yeah,
Yeah, she's half devil, half angel.
yeah.
So,
So anyway, I'm glad you're going to be able to record there, and it's kind of what we've learned too. It's better to ask and just know that you can go in, relax, and record rather than have to be afraid that you're going to get stopped.
Yeah.
yeah, there were times at WinStar where we did try to, sneak some videos.
There's one time where it was probably 2 years ago, but I was recording when technically you weren't supposed to, and hit the red screens for 29,000, 26,000, 29,000. And it's so glad that I was breaking the rules, because I did get that on video, but normally up there we tried to be good.
So what advice would you give to someone that wants to start playing higher limits, but maybe they're just not at that point yet, or they don't have the means to, but they want to? What advice would you give to somebody that is wanting to get into playing high limit slots?
We kind of talked about this because we don't want to give the wrong advice. Best thing is to play within your means. If you want to try high limit slots, maybe don't go to the casino for a little while, save up so that you have that disposable income that you're not going to miss if for some reason, or if by chance you do pick a high limit slot that isn't quite so friendly. We know that you can put $200 or $300 in and you can go through it like that. You could also put $200 or $300 in and walk away with $1,000 or a jackpot. So really just being responsible with your budget. And I like what you told me about how you've done it before, is maybe starting on a $1 machine or $2 machine and moving to a $5 machine as you kind of build up your bankroll. I think that's a real good technique too.
And I think kind of when we first started, we decided maybe instead of going and playing, 2 or 3 weekends, we were just going to go one weekend and, use the money that we would have taken for 2 or 3 weekends just to try.
Good idea.
Yeah. So that's kind of, I think, probably if somebody wants to give it a swing, but
something else to think about too is
you have to be prepared to, take it in the shorts, if it's not going to hit. I mean, honestly, so you just, it's something that if it's going to make you mad, I mean, of course, everybody wants to win, right? Nobody's happy when they lose, but if it makes you mad, then I would say it's probably best to, stick to a penny machine or something.
Well, and something else to think about, we always try to play max when we play a machine. But if you want to try some $5 machines or maybe a $10 machine, it might be worth, instead of playing $3 on a $1 machine, going to a $5 machine and playing $5, play 1 credit. And, you won't hit that top jackpot, but you're going to have a better, correct me if I'm wrong, you'll have a better chance of hitting something playing a $5 machine for 1 credit than a $1 machine for $3.
Correct.
Mainly because of the payouts being better on the higher denomination machines. So that may be a good way to try some too.
Yeah. Aren't generally the payout percentages on the high limit machines better than, I know that's not a set rule, but it seems like, I found before online where you can look up Nevada gaming and look up the gaming commission stats, and it shows you what payout percentages are by denomination, even by casino or by area, like the Strip versus downtown or whatever. And it seems like the 5, 10, 25, the payout percentage, is usually in the mid to high 90s versus a $1 machine, which is maybe in the 80s to low 90s. And then I've seen penny ones and nickels like in the low 80s.
Yeah. Which is correct. The higher the denomination, the better the payouts are always going to be, for sure, which is one thing that I always try to drive into people and let them know, like, okay, the whole entire casino is built to make money. That's why it's there, and they're going to have the most of what makes them money, and they're going to try to entice you to play, what makes them the most money, and that is the penny machines. And I think a lot of the mentality is, everybody sees, oh, it's just a penny. But what they don't see is like, okay, well, if you go to 88 Fortunes and play a penny, you're playing $8.80. So
Right.
you can go to a $5 machine and play 2 credits for $10 and spend $2 more and probably walk away with a jackpot within a matter of minutes, as opposed to, blowing through money on a penny machine.
Oh yeah, I can play dancing drums or one of those at 880 a spin and go through $200 or $300 without a bonus, even without the coins turning around. So it can go just as fast. Oh, sorry. It can go just as fast, if not faster, playing a penny machine, than playing like an old school machine. So
Very true.
that's kind of how I would just say, play within your means, and just kind of be smart and have fun with it. Because if you're not having fun, it's not worth doing.
Yeah. Decide what you're okay losing. Yeah. Because that's what we do. Every time we go, of course you want to win, and we've had trips where we've done really well, but we kind of always expect that, okay, this is the money that we're okay with not having when we come back go to our house.
Well,
so
and
it's kind of, I think it's the way we look at it.
Yeah, and I try to on my channel to post my wins and my losses. The losses probably aren't as fun to watch, but I do have a lot of people tell me they appreciate kind of the reality that we may go to Las Vegas and come home with a losing trip, and they get to watch my losing videos.
Well, that actually leads me into my next question that I had for you.
Okay.
I've seen a lot of comments on not just your channel, but other slot channels. You see it on every single slot channel. People claiming, "Oh, you win all the time," or "Oh, you're only posting wins." Do you win all the time?
Yeah. No.
I wish.
I had somebody ask me today, "Do you think there's any professional slot players out there?" And I was like, well, professional slot players, if maybe they have a trust fund that they can just continue to take money from, so they play professionally, but the casinos in the end, they're going to win, especially at slots. You're not set up to go win every time you play. So
yeah, even at like a 98% payout, right? They're still in the positive on that.
The longer you sit there, you're probably going to end up giving it all back if you stay on one machine for too long. Yeah. So
definitely know when to walk away.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the comment that I always love to read, is the person says, "Oh, you should have walked away whenever you were at $1,000. I'm like, well, of course, if I would have known I was going to lose it. Yeah, you're right.
So what are some final bits of advice that you would like to give the viewers out there watching this?
It's a good question. Play responsibly, play within your means, have fun. Try not to hit the person who's sitting beside you when they raise the denomination of your bet without asking.
I'm guilty of that. I'm not going to lie. Sometimes it works.
Sometimes it works. I think overall, though, it's just have fun, because if you're not having fun when you're gambling, it's not worth investing the money to be there. Do you agree?
Yeah. And that's one thing that we've talked about before. If only one of us liked to gamble, it'd probably suck, for the other one.
Yeah.
But luckily, we both like to do it. I say luckily, I'm not sure it's a good thing or a bad thing, but it's our form of entertainment. And I think that's the main thing. It needs to be a form of entertainment for you. If it's not a form of entertainment, then don't do it. I know everybody says that, but it can be frustrating. And there are nights where I will be the first to say, "Oh, you shouldn't get mad. If you're going to get mad, don't play." But there are times whenever I get mad, but it's not something that sticks with me. It's an emotion, that comes and goes. Mm-hmm. I think that's, for me, probably the biggest thing that, just if you're not having fun, don't do it.
And, I'd probably say the biggest piece of advice is to watch Cowboy Slots for good slot advice.
Hey, that is a good one. That is
There we go.
I'm spreading the word. So,
all right.
Yeah.
Good.
Appreciate it.
So guys, what are your when's your next travel plans? Like what's some of your future plans for your channel and going forward? When are you traveling next? Got any slot tournaments coming up? Big special events?
Well, tomorrow, which I don't think this probably will be passed by the time this is on, but tomorrow we'll be in Shreveport, Louisiana. We're going to be playing there just for a night. And end of April, Las Vegas.
End of April, going to Las Vegas. Hopefully you're going to be coming out there to meet us.
I will try.
We're trying, but you have some big things coming up.
Yeah.
So.
And we have, we're playing in a slot tournament that weekend.
June, we're going on a cruise to Alaska. So it's through Norwegian, and we do have permission to record this time. So hopefully we'll be able to go live and have some fun that week in the cruise or on the cruise.
Yeah. Yeah. We've been on that ship before and had really good luck in that casino.
Was it the Escape?
It's the Bliss.
The Bliss, Norwegian Bliss. Planning on driving to Wyoming someday.
All right.
Come up there, see the Yellowstone, and go to Wendover. Other than that, we usually just plan a couple months out. So June is our big trip, and although usually we're in Las Vegas in July every year, so we'll be back. And
we've probably been averaging going out there, I don't know, once a month or something for the last year or two, just kind of as Stacey needs more videos, really.
Yeah, but it's a good excuse, right?
Right. So what about, so I know you guys are kind of approaching a milestone with your subscribers on your channel. Are you guys doing anything special for that?
Actually, thank you for asking. We have been talking about a giveaway for quite some time, and time gets away, and real life kind of gets in the way. But we just hit 30,000. Well, we hit 30,000 a few weeks ago, and so we have a giveaway planned with merchandise and gift cards. About a little over $1,000 total that we'll be doing random drawings for. So in the next week or two, watch for a video. I haven't quite figured out the rules yet, how we're going to do the giveaway.
Be a subscriber
but have
and
to subscribe,
comment on the video. That'll be, I mean, that's really the way to pull the names randomly.
Yeah. So it'll all be random, pulled from comments. So watch community page. I'll make sure it's big on a video when we're doing that giveaway. But we appreciate you having us on here, and thank you to everybody who's already subscribed to my channel. It's been fun, and as long as it's fun, we'll keep doing it. So
yeah, and it's crazy how many people that we've met, and like talked to, like you, for instance.
Yeah, I feel like we're best friends now.
Yeah. I mean, you and I text during the day while I'm working about random stuff.
Right.
It's pretty funny, and like NJ Slot Guy, he's one that we've become friends with and hung out with in Vegas, and he's great. And
I'm going to put a card for him up here too. So I'm putting a card here. If you guys haven't checked out NJ Slot Guy, definitely check out his channel.
Yeah, it's a great community of people who have slot channels. And I sat in one video and played next to Nick, who's a cop from Florida and watches a lot of slot channels. And we sat and played with them, at Cosmopolitan for probably 30 minutes. And it's just a really neat community. So
yeah, it's funny how you just run into people, and just it's been completely random, but it's been really cool.
Yeah.
Of course, there's trolls out there too, right?
But we love everybody equally.
That's true. That is true. All righty, guys. Well, thank you so much for coming on the channel. I had a lot of fun. I think this was a really fun video. Kind of get the behind the scenes and lift the veil of Stacey's slots. And
I don't get in front of the camera very often. I'm a little camera shy, but hopefully we'll get better at that, as we grow and have another sip of wine here.
Yeah, and congratulations to you, man. Your channel's been exploding. Yeah. That's awesome.
It's been fun to watch because
it really is.
I think the first time that I got a message from you giving me some advice on triple stars and some of those other machines I mean, you maybe just had the one video out.
Actually,
And-
I didn't even have a channel then. I think we were just talking, and
Yeah, you were talking
Yeah.
about starting one. Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm
No.
excited for you. I think it's awesome.
thank you. Yeah, it was actually, you know, through watching your channel, through watching NJ Slot Guy, I was like, you know, maybe I'll put together a channel. I mean, I don't play slots a lot myself, but I have a lot of inside knowledge, and I don't currently for the casino, so I can tell it all, you know, tell it all. So
yeah, I think that's what's really cool about your channel too. It's different, you know, it's not, I hate to say it, but a lot of us are kind of doing the same thing, right? I mean,
A lot of the slot channels.
yeah, a lot of the slot channels. And I think that's one thing cool about yours is that it's just a different kind of, it's still slot related. So it's very interesting to gamblers. I think it's interesting to a couple people that I've sent, you know, to your channel that are not even really gamblers, but.
all right, guys. Well, thank you again for joining me. I really appreciate it. Stacey's High Limit Slots. Again, check out her channel. NJ Slot Guy, check out his channel. And hopefully we'll be doing a lot more interviews here in the future. So thank you guys.
Thanks for having us for your first.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
And make sure and put in the comments, encourage Cowboy Slots to get his ass out to Vegas and meet up with Stacey and Greg.
I will try. It's a 7-8 hour drive from where I live, but now that the weather's warming up, I will try to get down there a lot easier. Wendover is actually very easy for me to get to. It's only like 3 hours. So I'll try to get over to Wendover, especially.
Yeah. All right. Well, we appreciate you having us on here, and thanks for everything. Keep on going.